Most men never leave when they should. They stay. They explain. They beg for attention. They try harder. And slowly, they lose themselves. But there's one move so powerful, so rare, that it changes everything. You disappear, not to play games, not to punish her, but because your peace is worth more than chasing someone who cannot see your value. And the moment you truly understand this, your entire life changes. There's a painful truth most men learn too late. When someone values you, you never have to convince them to care. Think about that. You never have to force respect. You never have to beg for time. You never have to fight just to feel important. Real connection feels natural, not confusing, not exhausting. But many men spend years trying to earn basic love from people who already decided not to give it. And the more they chase, the less they are respected. This is where Stoicism enters. The Stoics believed something powerful. Your worth does not depend on another person's approval. Not hers, not anyone's. The moment your happiness depends on how someone treats you, you become emotionally controlled by them. And that is dangerous, because now your mood changes with their texts. Your confidence changes with their attention. Your peace changes with their behavior. You stop living from inner strength. You start living from emotional survival. And many men don't even realize it's happening. At first it looks innocent. You wait a little longer for her reply. You double text. You overthink her dry messages. You replay conversations in your head at night. Then suddenly, you're emotionally exhausted by someone who gives you the bare minimum. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. That means you cannot control how someone feels about you. You cannot force loyalty. You cannot force effort. You cannot force appreciation. But you can control one thing, your response. And sometimes the strongest response is silence. Most people think disappearing means weakness. It's actually the opposite. Weakness is staying where you are disrespected. Weakness is accepting crumbs because you fear loneliness. Weakness is abandoning yourself just to keep someone around. Strength is walking away calmly, without drama, without revenge, without proving anything. That kind of silence is powerful because it comes from self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. Imagine this. There are two men. The first man notices a woman pulling away. She ignores him more often. Her energy changes. She stops valuing his presence. He panics. He sends longer messages. He tries harder. He becomes available all the time. He loses sleep trying to fix things. And the more he chases, the less attractive he becomes. Why? Because desperate energy pushes people away. Now look at the second man. He notices the same signs. But instead of chasing, he steps back. He doesn't argue. He doesn't beg. He doesn't try to convince someone to choose him. He quietly returns his focus to his life, his goals, his peace, his purpose. And suddenly, he becomes powerful again. Not because he manipulated anyone, but because he remembered his value. This is what most people misunderstand about Stoic strength. Stoicism is not coldness. It's emotional discipline. It's the ability to say, I will not destroy my peace trying to keep someone who does not appreciate me. That sentence alone can save years of suffering. One of the biggest mistakes men make is confusing attachment with love. Attachment says, I need you to feel okay. Love says, I appreciate you, but I can survive without you. There's a massive difference. When you desperately need someone's attention, you stop acting naturally. You perform. You overgive. You become anxious. And people can feel that energy immediately. But when you know you'll be okay with or without them, you move differently. You become calm, grounded, clear-minded. That calmness is attractive because it comes from inner stability. The Stoics trained themselves for this. They constantly reminded themselves, everything external can leave. Money, status, relationships, attention. Anything outside you can disappear. So they built their peace internally. That way, when people walked away, they didn't collapse emotionally. Now let's be honest. Disappearing is hard, especially when you care deeply. Especially when part of you still hopes they'll change. But sometimes the pain of leaving is smaller than the pain of staying. And many men stay too long because they fear starting over. They fear emptiness, silence, loneliness. But here's the strange truth. The moment you stop chasing validation, you start finding yourself again. Your energy returns. Your focus returns. Your confidence returns. You stop obsessing over someone else's choices and start improving your own life. You sleep better. You think clearer. You feel lighter. Because your mind is no longer trapped in emotional chaos. Epictetus once said, if someone is not treating you as you deserve, remember that is their character, not your worth. That quote hits hard because most people internalize rejection. A woman loses interest, and suddenly a man feels worthless. But another person's inability to value you does not decrease your value. Read that again carefully. Not everyone will recognize your heart. Not everyone will appreciate your loyalty. Not everyone will understand your intentions. And that's okay. Your job is not to force recognition. Your job is to protect your peace. There's something incredibly powerful about a man who can walk away quietly. No insults, no emotional explosions, no desperate attempts to be understood, just calm distance. Because deep down he knows what belongs in his life will never require him to abandon his dignity. And this mindset changes relationships completely. When you stop chasing, you stop tolerating disrespect. You notice red flags earlier. You value your time more. You stop romanticizing people who emotionally drain you. You become selective, not arrogant, not cold, just aware that your energy is valuable. Modern culture teaches men to endlessly pursue, to never give up, to keep proving themselves. But Stoicism teaches something different. It teaches discernment. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every connection deserves your loyalty. Not every person deserves access to your heart. That wisdom can protect your future. Now here's the interesting part. Sometimes when you disappear, the other person suddenly notices your absence. Why? Because people often take consistent attention for granted. When you are always available, your presence loses weight. But when you truly detach, people feel the silence. Still, this is important. You should never disappear as manipulation. If your goal is to make someone chase you, you are still emotionally dependent on their reaction. Real Stoic detachment is different. It says, I release what does not value me, whether it returns or not. That is true freedom. And freedom is attractive. Look at nature. The sun does not beg people to notice it. The ocean does not chase approval. A lion does not convince others of its strength. Real power is quiet, and the strongest people rarely waste energy trying to prove their worth. Many men ruin themselves trying to hold on to people who already emotionally left. They keep texting, keep hoping, keep overanalyzing every small sign. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Months pass, years pass, and they slowly lose confidence because they built their self-worth around someone else's attention. Don't let that happen to you. You deserve relationships where effort flows naturally, where respect feels mutual, where communication feels clear, where your presence is appreciated, not tolerated. And if someone cannot give that to you, walking away is not failure, it's wisdom. There's also another hidden benefit of disappearing. You finally hear your own thoughts again. When you constantly chase someone emotionally unavailable, your mind becomes noisy. You obsess, you worry, you imagine scenarios, you lose mental clarity. But distance creates perspective. Suddenly you realize you were fighting for someone who barely met your emotional needs. You were sacrificing your peace for temporary attention. And once you see that clearly, you can never unsee it. This is why solitude is so important in Stoicism. The Stoics spent time alone not because they hated people, but because solitude helped them reconnect with themselves. A man who cannot be alone will often stay in unhealthy situations out of fear. But a man comfortable with solitude becomes difficult to manipulate, because he no longer tolerates emotional disrespect just to avoid loneliness. That is real strength. And honestly, many women secretly respect men who respect themselves. Not toxic arrogance, not fake alpha behavior, just genuine self-respect. The ability to walk away from inconsistency, the ability to protect your emotional health, the ability to remain calm instead of desperate. That energy is rare today. Most people react emotionally to rejection. They become bitter, angry, obsessed. But Stoic wisdom says, rejection reveals alignment. If someone does not value you, they are simply not aligned with your path. Why force what naturally resists you? Imagine holding sand tightly in your hand. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Relationships often work the same way. Desperation destroys connection. Calmness preserves dignity, and dignity matters. Never trade your dignity for temporary affection. Never abandon your standards because you fear being alone. Never shrink yourself to fit inside someone else's limited appreciation, because the right people will never require you to beg for basic respect. One day you'll look back and realize something important. The moments you thought you were losing someone, you were actually being redirected toward yourself, toward growth, toward peace, toward emotional freedom. And that's the real power move. Not making someone miss you, but no longer needing their validation to feel complete. That changes the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you live. You stop operating from fear. You start operating from inner confidence. And ironically, that's when life begins to open up. You meet better people. You attract healthier connections. You make clearer decisions. Because emotionally, desperate people often choose emotionally unavailable partners. But emotionally grounded people choose differently. So if someone in your life constantly makes you feel unwanted, listen carefully. The answer is not to chase harder. The answer is to pause, observe, respect yourself enough to leave what damages your peace. Disappear from places where your soul feels small, not out of anger, out of wisdom, because your energy is sacred, your time is limited, and your peace is priceless. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. People come and go. Attention comes and goes. Even relationships change. But the relationship you have with yourself, that stays with you forever. Protect it carefully. And remember this, walking away from disrespect is not weakness. It's self-respect in action. If this message spoke to you, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more timeless Stoic wisdom. And in the comments tell me, what's one moment in your life where walking away actually made you stronger? I'll see you in the next video.